Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our keynote speaker, Mr. Colin Hubbard from the Danger Club podcast. Is this thing on? Can you hear me? Yes. Hello. Welcome everyone to the Danger Club podcast. We're very delighted that you could all be here today. Excuse me. Yes. Thank you all. It's wonderful to be here and delighted to see so many of you tuning in again and again. From the bottom of our hearts, we appreciate everything that you do, and why not get on the Discord and say hello? And we're always around if you fancy a chat, and you can have a look at our Patreon and wonderful things that the team are doing on Wednesdays. Wednesday on the Dangerous Wednesdays on the Twitch, and YouTube is one to watch as well, and yes, I think that's all. That's all we need to. That's all we need to say. So have a good day, evening, morning. Thank you.
Previously on the Danger Club podcast.
Roll for initiative.
16.
I'm the Juggernaut, bitch!
It rears back and then just unleashes a jet of molten metal.
Shania!
Acid arrow.
The war's never over, not for Johnny Landslide.
Oh, natural 20!
And you kill the junk golem.
Yay!
It seems you are willing to pay the price. You all level up.
The adventure continues now.
We're rolling.
1, 2, 3. Hello, 1, 2, 3 kids. The 123rd episode of the Danger Club podcast. This is crazy. I've got some phenomenal gaming trivia that I want to throw you. I know we did our big dangerous quiz of the year a little while ago, but this one was too fun not to bring up. Remember I was going to say the Danger Club. We're not there yet. The D&D cartoon from the 80s.
Of course.
Yes.
Oh yeah, legendary.
That one with the theme. So there are a bunch of weird character classes in that.
What? Hang on. What? You've never seen it, Ross?
Nope.
Sorry, Dan. Sorry. What?
Go ahead.
Never seen it.
Do you know what?
Yeah.
Neither have I. Come at us.
123. I'm dropping the mic. I'm out. That's it.
I've seen the trailer and I've seen clips of it, but I never watched an episode all the way through. I probably couldn't bear it.
To be fair, Scott and Ross are the Utes in this podcast.
They are the Utes, yeah.
They're...
I'm 34!
I know. I'm
32. Even still, mate.
Still makes you Ute.
Even still, that makes you
Still more Ute than me.
We're all pushing 40 here, man.
This comes up in this show a lot because these because these sort of seminal things we remember from our childhoods that we remember as being like our entire childhood, most of them only ran for a couple of years. So it's really, if there's like a 2-year age gap, it's really easy to have just missed it and just have not seen it because it wasn't on when you were around.
Like Ross was into the Teletubbies, man. You know?
All right.
He's that.
Look, we promised we wouldn't talk about last week, right?
It was actually Brum.
Just reminds me of the
Brum
good
was
times.
really good. Yeah, Brum.
What was?
Super Ted.
Brum was a banger. I loved
Yeah.
Brum. I couldn't believe that he was a thinking and talking car. Like that just changed my life.
Bodger and Badger.
I remember that.
Yeah, like
Great show.
Badger, man. That's
That run for about 10 years, man.
Yeah, that was a big one. That's pan-generational, that.
Count Duckula.
No matter your age, there are two things that appeal: Bodger and Badger and the Danger Club podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Danger Club podcast.
Now,
Everyone's going to, all our international listeners are going to be like, what shows are those?
So Bodger and Badger was a guy with a puppet who did ventriloquism, and his puppet would eat mashed potato.
Yeah,
that was the gimmick.
Mashed potato.
That was it.
it's true.
We might have
And,
talked about this before, actually.
I feel slightly bad because I derailed Dan's trivia, and I for one was actually quite interested in the trivia. I'd quite like to hear
So
it
let's-
now
yes,
with just my
that's all right.
aghastness.
I will say, I think ventriloquism is a very generous way of describing Bodger and Badger. What a puppet.
I flap my hand whilst I speak.
So there are a bunch of all the characters in the D&D cartoon. They play different classes, different weird ones. So 3 of the classes in the D&D cartoon did not exist in Dungeons and Dragons when it came out. They were invented by the cartoon and later ended up in the game. Which 3 classes were created specifically for the D&D cartoon?
Acrobat.
Acrobat is one of them. That's the easy one.
I'd say probably, was it
Ranger.
Eric and the Cavalier?
The Cavalier is another one.
Yeah.
The third one is really hard.
That must be the sneaking one, the invisibility cloak lady. What was it called? I can't remember.
Well, she was
The rogue.
a sort of rogue, yeah.
Rogue.
Thief.
There was
I think
already
that
a
was
thief.
already in there.
The thief was
Yeah, there
already a class.
Definitely a thief. Was it?
It's the DM.
Yeah, there was no. It was a DM-less system until the cartoon, and then everyone was like, "I want to be that little bald guy. Why can't I be him?"
Well, you want to roleplay Paul Daniels?
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. That's another 80s callback.
So, was it the
I don't know, go on.
the ranger with the arrow?
Nah, the Ranger was already there
yeah, because it's going to be that's.
Aragorn. So it's the early stuff. The early D&D is all taken from Tolkien. So of course there's a Ranger.
So was it the barbarian then? Could you not play a barbarian?
It was the Barbarian. The Barbarian
my
class
God.
was created for the D&D cartoon and now is a staple core class of basically every fantasy role-playing game.
Wow.
Yeah, because we take it for granted, but I guess that they probably thought at the time that a barbarian would be more an NPC or a villain or something like that. Like you fight barbarians or something like that, actually to play one. How interesting. That is a good fact.
That is a good one, isn't it? And they all ended up as kind of various versions of classes or prestige classes or things like that later on. I'd like the Acrobat to come back. I think it is an archetype in 2nd edition Pathfinder. I think you can have or something like that. But I always thought that. I always felt like that kid turned up late to the table when they were handing out character sheets.
Yeah, I seem to remember at the beginning, and they all get their special. She's got the staff that would extend, didn't she? She could like pole vault over stuff, and you'd have to think that they're like, I've got a bow that can shoot energy arrows, and like, I've got a wizard's hat, and what do you got? I've got a stick, and it goes long and short.
I mean, look,
Long
right,
and short.
we're 5 minutes into this preamble, and no one's talked about the fact that we've leveled up.
Yes.
Oh!
Let's talk about
And we
some
killed-
other classes.
And we killed a junk golem as well.
And we killed that junk golem.
I tell you
yeah.
what, that Acrobat lady, she leveled up to becoming Gambit from the X-Men with that staff. That's the only iconic use of that staff that I can imagine, who is also an Acrobat, who in the X-Men intro does an amazing little flip around that staff and then never ever uses it for the rest of the entire show.
That's it. Yeah.
You use it in the
Acrobat.
Mega Drive game, in the X-Men Mega Drive game, you hit people with it, but then you end up using the cards.
The cards, the blah 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 blah. You mean his most iconic thing is charging the cards and then
16-bit X-Men game, they go...
no, they don't. They go.
No, trust me.
They don't go blah, 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 blah. They're not gelatinous ooze played by Ross. Like, they're Gambit's iconic charged cards.
I did the voices for that game, and I did all of the sound effects.
Well, when you were 6.
Yeah.
That's why they're all
My
variations
dad was the
on
game
burbling.
designer. He just put a microphone to my crib, and I just went. Blah, 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 and
You were in a crib at 6.
Couldn't be trusted.
Ross is in a crib at 6.
So many.
In a crib at 6, watching Bodger and Badger going.
Oh my god.
I did MTV cribs in my crib. I was like, this is my crib.
Yeah, maybe you were just using your hip-hop terminology for your house.
Yeah. Let's go with that.
You destroyed that junk golem. My goodness, you guys have learned so much since that first golem fight. That was not statted as an easy encounter, and I thought it was going to get. It had tetanus strikes, it had bleed damage, it had all this extra fun stuff it got to do. It did very little of it. It did one sort of vomit attack. It got one hit on Shania, and it punched Johnny Landslide. And
but your face when it did the vomit attack, Dan, you were so happy. You were like, yes.
Because this is the thing, as it goes, like, you guys you're not a glass cannon party, but you have got a lot of damage, which means that sometimes fights can be very short, and Monsters in 2nd Edition all have a few fun things that you want to get in during the course of the fight, so it's always a little bit of a yay when you get to do one of the fun things that the monster has before you guys just annihilate it. And it just had that feeling from very early on. It was like, oh no, this ain't gonna last long.
I've got to be honest, I feel vindicated about the water. I said the last time we fought it, like, water will be useful, and unfortunately I didn't have useful water with me. But this time, the water was really useful.
That was a whole ass arc for you. Yeah. I noted it in my head, but by the time it came round to my turn, I was like, I'm going to big that up to Shania, because Shania did that and tried to put the candle out, but all that came out of my head was Johnny Landslide, Johnny Landslide, we love you. That was Caragor's attention span. It's a bit like a small fox. Do you know what I mean?
One of our greatest NPCs ever.
So
Johnny Landslide.
As vindication, I can tell you, Drummond, that obviously this was not a real junk golem. This junk golem was formed from your own memories of the junk golem, and so some of its resistances and things were based on that, which meant that it had a vulnerability to water because of the strength of Shania's belief that the previous one had a vulnerability to water.
Oh, really? That is amazing.
Should have saved that for Danger Recall.
Oh, there you go.
In 2 years' time.
Subscribe
to our Patreon.
Let's talk about some level ups. Let's talk about some of the new fun stuff that we've got.
Sweet.
Tell us about Ross. Do you want to tell us about Fulton first of all? What does Fulton get?
Yes, I have leveled up. I've got 100 hit points now. Woohoo!
Nice.
So, interestingly, I took the feat Furious Focus, which allows me to, when I make a power attack, it counts as one attack towards your melee, and basically can make multiple. So instead of like it being 2, it only costs 1.
Nice.
So I can make I can end up making a lot of attacks. So especially if I hit with my great axe, I can end up doing 3d12 on a power attack, and then I can do that again.
Oh my god!
On my second attack.
Well, you can't power attack twice in a round, but you stand a much better chance of hitting. Like, it basically means you don't have to worry about your bottom attack penalty anymore.
Yeah, so that's cool. Ooh. That's cool. Be prepared to have loads of your enemies die, Dan.
Oh,
well, actually, probably not, because I can never roll higher than a 3. So that's.
A 3's getting to the point that 3 is all you need with Fulton.
Yeah, I was going to say your to hit's so high now.
Yeah, my to hit is with my +1 great axe is 17
with MZ.
Plus 17.
Lovely. Oh my goodness. How about Bubba? What's Bub's got?
So Bubba's quite interesting because in between level 5 and level 6, Tengu, the actual core rulebook release, Tengus as a thing. So What, have I said something wrong?
No, I was doing a bird call.
Oh, I see.
CAW.
I missed that. Shit. Sorry, man.
Just reinsert it into the audio of your reaction to it.
Yeah, I'll just go, ha 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 ha.
Oh, that's a good bird pun.
So basically Tengus are now a thing. So we built Bubba based on a human, sort of back. What do you call it? Like a human build. That's what we did. Yeah, all right. So now I had to rebuild Bubba using the new Tengu traits, which is awesome. So we've got loads of stuff. I'm not going to go into it too much. One of the things that Bubba now can do, though, is something called long-nosed form, which means that Bubba can turn himself into a human form, but with a really long nose. So, yeah, for like 10 minutes or something, you can just walk around looking like a human, which is kind of cool. And then loads of other stuff. And I've tried to keep everything as close to the build that we did for the human build as possible. But now he has some nice little Tengu traits. So
proper Tengu. Happy with that. Good to have that in there. Scott, how about Caragor? How's Caragor doing?
Caragor's gone sprightly initiative this time. Incredible initiative and a scout's warning as well, which means I get higher initiative and everybody gets higher initiative when we all act. So
nice.
So sort of riffing off that whole hand gestures thing that everyone really likes to have fun with ignoring. But this time you all, whether you like it or not, you hear and or see Caragor giving you a heads up at the start of combat.
Oh, that's nice. I like that idea that everyone is kind of learning his system, and that's why their initiative is kind of picking up, because you're starting to understand what his hand signals means. So everyone
two fingers means two bad guys, not two of us. Remember, he gave us that PowerPoint workshop and got very cross when we couldn't remember it.
Which character was that?
Cuts over to everyone else just pulling out their notebooks and furiously looking through them.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Velda, what's Velda get? Velda gets some new spells, doesn't he?
Velda, he gets some sort of a pick. I get another spell slot at level 3, which unfortunately I can't use straight away because you need to prepare your spells at the beginning of the day. And I've got a couple of feats, which I know we spoke about, whether or not they're interesting or not, but I've got one that I picked because I love it, and that is Escape. So if I want to make an escape in some situation, I will get my deck of tarot cards and go like this to make a big explosion of cards, and then that allows me to sneak away.
Amazing.
What noise does the cards make when you throw them?
So I can basically, and I just saw it. I was like, oh my god! I mean, it's not the most useful of all the feats, but I love it. Just
James,
for flavour.
To be fair, that spell does have necessary components. So things you need to use to make the spell and to enact it. It does have solid components, and one of those components is a pina colada. So
What?
Go on, explain it.
Explain it. Oh, you have to go explain it.
Explain your joke. Go on.
Escape, the Pina Colada song.
Got it. There we go.
Right.
Yeah.
You like pina coladas?
Oh.
I mean, I thought you were referencing that. I was like, is one of the lyrics that I get my deck of cards and go. I can't.
It's really specific. Really.
Yeah, really specific. And that's why his woman wants to leave him, because he just can't stop doing that with decks of cards.
Can we make the noise that Ross recorded for the Master System game, Mega Drive game?
Yeah.
No, I've got to do it.
Oh, sorry. Ross has got to do it. Do you still? There we go.
Have you still got the masters for that, Ross? Can you just send them over to Colin for whenever?
Yeah. I'll
do. Get the signed license to use that.
So is this like a teleport or anything, or does Velda literally just throw some cards in the air and run away?
It's literally a distraction. He just goes and throws them in someone's face, or in a group.
That's
and
so
then,
nice.
And then just sort of sneaks away. So yeah. I mean, not the most important thing he's got from his level up, but I love it. I love that.
But I guess it doesn't provoke attacks of opportunity or anything, if they can.
It's less for combat.
Okay.
Although, I suppose. I mean, I guess you could do. But yeah, and it does leave all of the deck of cards scattered around the room, which will take a couple of minutes to pick up.
Oh, well, that's
so afterwards, I'll have to sneak back in and just quietly pick up all the tarot cards.
So, Velda, you're going to have new spells as well. Don't tell us about those now, because that's fun to have as a surprise when they pop up in game.
Yes.
Drummond, what does Shania get?
Well, do you remember many, many years ago when I used a spell that I wasn't supposed to use? It was called Mad Monkeys.
I do remember Mad Monkeys.
Yes.
Was that many, many
Well, I
moons
can
ago?
officially use Mad Monkeys now.
Well, I think,
So that's there.
The ossuary, I think, when you tried
That
to
was
use
the
that. So it was many, many
Yeah.
years ago.
Yeah, that came out
Many,
with
many
magic.
moons ago.
Yeah.
Well, I can't wait for Mad Monkeys.
Yeah, and there's also something called Curse of Lost Time, which is really fun. But I'll tell you more about that if it gets used, I guess. I also weirdly appear to have lost some of my my AC.
Okay.
I don't know how that happened. I don't know why. Maybe I made a mistake when we were building it originally, but I've lost a point in AC.
Well, we put Shania through Path Builder for this level up, didn't we? So we've kind of, a bit of the math has tightened up on that. Did you take Mature Animal Companion?
I think I did. Where's that going to be? Is that going to be in my?
That'll be your class feats. So I can tell you if you've done that, Philippe can now act independently in combat.
Yes.
Philippe has also increased by one size category. So Philippe is now the same size as the rest of. Is now the size of a person.
Sick.
This huge ape. This huge, ferocious baboon, devil baboon.
Just on that, quick big up Path Builder. I know we said it before, but I had the same thing when I stuck Velda in there for the first time, and it's like, oh, my spell attack bonus has gone down. However, my AC went up. So I clearly done some of the maths wrong, or hadn't included something. So it's really, really
weirdly.
useful.
Sorry, but like Philippe's AC is 22 now.
Ooh.
He's got a better AC than I have.
Mighty
I don't know how that happens. Mighty Monkey, indeed.
Mighty Monkey.
Wow.
Shania, what's your AC?
21.
21. Mabes, don't frontline rush junk golems again.
No, I'm not gonna be doing that anymore. But when I did it, I had 22, so
It worked out pretty well. Ross, do you want to tell us anything about Beelzebub?
Yeah, Beelzebub, I'll just be quick. It took a feat called Combine Elixirs, so it allows you to mix two elixirs together and gain both of their traits. You use a little bit more of your batches, but yeah, it's quite cool.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Yeah, it allows you to combine two together, which is interesting. So I'll be doing that, hopefully.
Colin, do you want to tell us anything about MZ before I go on to talk about Brimbone? It's all our extra characters that we have.
No, I'm okay.
The whole episode
Vasco Mops took shoopity boopity.
Plus, we're 20 minutes in. We should probably get into the game.
We please know Jam Jam is the same size and just as pointless.
Yeah.
We've had about 7 lobby musics already. So
let's get into this, because as you're standing there, the junk golem is just raining down around you and dissipating like snow as this hooded figure approaches through the darkness. He was Fardeen a moment ago, but now it appears to be just a figure clad in yellow robes with a cowl pulled very, very low. No hands emitting from it, just the sleeves just cover the hands, and it just sort of glides along the ground towards you and approaches all of you as you kind of dust yourselves off from this battle. As it approaches, it says, "So, it seems you are willing to pay the price. If you were not, you would have left by now. So, let us discuss what it is that you are here for."
You want me to speak, or
yeah, you're now the spokesperson for our group. Go for it.
we are here for a book.
Don't mess it up, Father. This is our moment.
Yes, Jem. We are here for the book.
We have...
Yeah.
There are no books here.
Yeah, that's awkward. Are we in the wrong library? Is this
Is it the one down the road? Like, yeah, should we go?
It's the Scravenborough. Sorry, my bad.
Have a good day. See you later.
We are looking for the Olibrian.
Looks to you. That we have. And he holds.
Yeah, that's what we were told.
Holds its hands out for a moment, and there's a rumbling, and suddenly the ground kind of cracks, and some enormous sets of shelves just erupt from the ground all around you, and just rise up off into the darkness as high as you can see. The shelves don't appear to have books on them. But set a little way back onto the shelves, you can see rows and rows of bars. The shelves rise up into the sky, and then the figure looks up across them as if it's counting along, and then holds up a hand. One set of shelves kind of shudders and then just rattles down like a fruit machine, almost kind of like the shelves coming down until it just screeches to a halt. The creature raises an arm again, and one set of the bars slides slowly up into the wood and halts. He holds out a hand, and you see a shadow of a figure on the shelf. The figure sort of steps out, holding out a shaking hand, and into the light of the torches steps an elf. He is incredibly old, wrinkled face, weather-beaten, strands of hair, hardly any hair in it. He has no eyes. His eyes have been removed. He is entirely naked. He is thin, as if he's been in this cage for ages. He steps out, and his entire body is covered in hieroglyphs. As he steps out, kind of just feeling the air, looking around. The creature turns to it and says, "Olibrian, come here." And the elf kind of staggers forward. The creature turns to you and says, "This is what you seek. You have come here. You have agreed the price. It is yours. What do you want of it?"
We wish to find some knowledge of an object.
Olibrius shudders. The glass. You seek the glass.
That's correct.
That is what I know. The glass is old. In the before times, so long ago, my master created it. He poured all of his magic into its creation. It was to be his ultimate work. He slaved over it for decades, for centuries, until finally it was complete. They called it the glass of divinity. A mirror to look upon. One that held within it power beyond all things. The power to grant that which the person looking into it truly desired above all, regardless of consequence. For many, many years, my master kept it hidden, declining to use it, although it called to him. He used his great willpower to avoid ever using it, afraid of what it was that his heart might truly desire.
finally the Great War rose to a fever pitch. They flooded our city. The enemy did, with a poisonous fog. Thousands died that day. The cities were choked with bodies and blood, and the screams of the dying. So much poison that it probably poisons the land still, although I have not seen it in many years. My master considered that day using the glass, but at the last moment, some great revelation passed upon him. I do not know what. I do not know what could stop somebody from wishing to use such a mighty gift. But as he strained to prevent himself from revealing the cover, he finally focused all of his will and all of his magic upon it, and he shattered the glass into many pieces and scattered them throughout the cosmos. This done, my master disappeared from this world. I do not know where he went or what became of him. I do not know why he would not use the glass. I sought it. I was his servant. I was there. And I sought the glass, sought the shards with everything I was. For once you have seen the shards, once you know of them, you are bound to them. You can do nothing but seek them, seek the power that they have, regardless of what it will do to you, regardless of what you would do with it. I sought them so vehemently that I made many bargains, and eventually they led me here, to the Library of Secrets, where my secret is held until one is willing to pay the price to retrieve it. There are only a few who know this, that have gathered it from other means. The great enemy, the pretender, the usurper, and you.
He kind of lowers his head, shivering. The hooded creature turns and says, "Was it what you expected?"
Well, do we get a Q&A? Or, because I've got questions, is that part of the... Caragor looks around. Are we allowed to ask, or...?
Of course.
What was your master's name?
He looks up as if trying to recall something from a long time ago. He says,
Nex. The great wizard Nex.
Okay. Why do you think that a very powerful Lich Lord would want the Glass of Divinity?
Anyone who knows of the Glass of Divinity would desire it. With the glass, it is possible to unmake what is made, to become divine yourself. Its powers are unlimited.
Oh, what you mean, like that fancy stone they've got in Absalom where drunk people keep touching it and becoming gods?
Yes, it is similar to the Starstone, but not as predictable. Its magic is older, more chaotic. The glass grants what you want, not what is good.
Right.
So the mirror, one would look into it and it would show you your heart's desire, whatever it was, and then manifest it in reality?
Yes, I do not know the specifics because it was never used, but I know that that is what it was. My master kept it locked from all of us, for he knew that he could not trust any to be near it.
I mean, first of all, it seems like a crazy thing to build, but it's here now, I guess. So you talked of the great enemy and the pretender and
the usurper.
Who else was it?
The usurper.
The usurper as well. Can you tell us more about these characters? Who are they?
Oh, can I guess?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Let's have a little guess here. I think, is the great enemy the Whispering Tyrant?
I do not know.
Oh.
They have not gained their knowledge through me, but I am so tied to it by now.
He kind of he runs a hand over his chest and just feels the markings carved onto him.
I'm a part of it that I can feel when this knowledge is shared. I know that the great enemy, they have known it for a long time. They have coveted it from afar, dreamed of it, until finally, recently, it has become within their grasp, and now they hunger for it above all things.
I have a practical question. Pardon me for asking. It seems rather banal, but how large was this mirror? What were its dimensions? How many shards are we speaking of? You must have some idea.
I was about to ask, how many pieces are there?
I was not in the room when it was shattered. I only heard. So I do not know how many it was broken into, but it was the size of a man.
I see.
I do not know how many pieces there were.
I've been picturing like a hand mirror, Okay.
I discovered the location of 3 before I was brought here. But I do not know where any of them are now.
And one more time, I might have missed that. Who created the glass of divinity? Sorry, I said glass twice then. God, I'm hanging around with this lot too much. Who created the glass of divinity again? I might have missed that.
You southern Jesse. It was created by the great wizard Nex.
That's right. Wait, no, you were... hang on, no, wait, the glass of divinity was created by Nex. You served Nex. Yeah. Gotcha. Right, okay, great, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yes. Nex is a person and a place. It's really confusing.
Yeah, it is, but I'm with you.
I mean, I'd watch it. I'd watch it for at least one season. Next goes to next,
Yeah, I'd watch that over a nice shandy.
Yeah.
And
6 episodes.
Nex has not been seen for a long time.
For thousands of years.
Just hypothetically, what would you say if he's back and he's marching an army of undead all the way down south of the region?
I do not know. I do not know why my old master would do such a thing. My master destroyed the glass when he could have used it against Geb. He could have saved his people. He could have ended the war with only a glance, but he chose instead to destroy it. I do not know why.
And Geb was the necromancer out of the 2, right? Nexus wasn't the necromancer. Out of the 2 of them that were rivals, Geb was the necromancer, is that correct?
Yes.
Right, so that wouldn't fit the MO, I don't think, if you thought the Whispering Tyrant was Nex reincarnated. Is that what you're going at, Fulton?
I thought Nex was a lich now.
No, it's Geb.
Oh, maybe it was Geb that I saw and not Nex then.
Well, no, I mean, there's probably more than one lich with the Whispering Tyrant and Geb. I mean, didn't Geb get blown up by Nex after becoming a lich? I mean, I suppose we got no reason to assume that the Whispering Tyrant couldn't be Geb reincarnated, but I just didn't think it was.
Yes.
I don't know many liches, so I'm just saying that it might be Geb.
I don't know any liches.
Could be Jeff.
I don't know any of them either, Fulton, but I do know one thing. Caragol pulls a cookery out and starts licking it. Liches get stitches, mate.
And so
No,
sorry. You do not know who the great enemies, the Pretender and the Usurper. We are guessing maybe the great enemy is the Whispering Tyrant, but you have no idea about the Pretender or Usurper? Or Caragor, do you want to give us a history lesson?
What? I haven't got my pen and my PowerPoint. I'm not prepared for it. I'm in the presence of someone who knows a little bit more about history than me. So, and not just Felder either, but also the Elibrium, which I'm a bit confused because the demons are referred to the Elibrium as an it, even though it's clearly a person, which makes me deeply uncomfortable. But I suppose we are in some form of a hell library, so we'll leave that for now. But I'm not keen on it. Anyway, I don't know. I don't know. I've got no idea.
Well, I have a question, another practical question about the object. So Nex designed it, so all one needed to do was to look into the mirror. It didn't require any magical incantation, any magical skill or level of power. You merely had to look into it?
Its magic was so advanced that it was active by itself. It required no additional work other than to complete it. Once completed, its power was potent.
Yeah. See, yes, you're saying that it was super advanced, but also really old. You're full of contradictions. Okay,
seems like a fail-safe. That sounds like an oversight in design. That does. You want to build a really powerful divine artifact that can be usable by wizards, but you make it easy. You need to make it open access so that everyone can use it. I mean, I'm not sure about that. I'm not questioning Nex. Theoretically, sorry, Shani. I know I jumped over you then. But that's okay. Let's say if someone was searching for all these shards to make the Glass of Divinity, but they couldn't find, let's say, one piece of the Glass of Divinity. Could they remake it with one piece missing?
They would find the other piece. Once someone has found one of the pieces, they can never stop searching for the others.
Well, what if the other piece did not exist anymore?
Which leads me on to my next question. How do you destroy a piece of the Glass of Divinity?
Yeah. If my master could not destroy it, then I do not know how it is possible.
So, just as a bit of information, the lich that I saw wanted the shard, and he said lots of nasty stuff to me. So I'm thinking, what happened to Geb?
He, at the mention, Olibian looks at you with his blank face, and just says, "You have one of the shards?"
No, please, I'm saying he.
Please let me touch it.
No, I didn't say I had it. I just said he was looking for it.
Please,
this lich.
He takes a step forward, and the hooded figure just clenches a fist, and a sort of a glowing chain appears around Olibrian's neck, and he just pulls up short.
Please, I just want to be close to it again.
Well, you technically are because you're next to me, but you can just stay there. So anyway, where's Geb?
I do not know. Geb was still active when I was removed from the world. You would know better than I.
I would know. Can I make a knowledge history check?
Yeah, give it a society check for Beelzebub.
I thought that Geb and Nex in their war, Nex finally destroyed Geb, but Nex got yeeted off into some other dimension. Mark made that up.
That is a... What did you say?
Society.
Society. That is a 20.
A 20, yeah. So you know that after... the Nex mysteriously disappeared during the attack on Quantium. Quantium was flooded with poison gas, which wiped out most of the city. Nex at that point disappeared and has never been seen on Galarian since. This was thousands of years ago. Geb disappeared not long after. It is believed that he killed himself because he had no purpose without his enemy, and so he killed himself and returned as a ghost. He continues to rule Geb to this day as a ghost.
Yes.
So they're into.
I relay this to the team.
So they're into. We can assume that the Whispering Tyrant and Geb are not one and the same undead thingy, are they? They're in two different places, got different histories.
Yes, it's worth remembering that even though we're speaking of undead things, we are talking of thousands of years since this all occurred. It is ancient history. I'm curious, Elibrian, do you know the shards themselves? Presumably they still contain the innate power that Nex poured into them, but could you use them for their intended purpose as smaller shards, or would one need to construct a larger portion of the mirror? Would it operate in pieces?
The shards' power is great, but unpredictable. They are filled with Nex's magic. The more of them that are together, the more powerful that magic is. But the way that it manifests is unpredictable. It can affect the world, it can affect the shards, and most of all, it can affect the minds of those that are exposed to them. It chips away at what you are, until you are nothing but a servant to retrieving the shards, to the deep desire that rests within you that maybe even you do not know of, but that calls you. It appeals to your basest calling. No mortal could withstand the power of the shards for long. Except, of course, for Johnny Landslide.
God. Now, does this happen when one tries to use the shard for gain, to use that power, to channel that power, or would it happen to people who, say, just carry the shards with them?
The power grows the more you know of them.
I see.
You know this. All of you, deep down, have something that you want. Something that you want more than anything. More than life. More than friendship. More than the people around you. More than the world.
And you're saying that this power is corrupt, so if one wanted peace, for instance, that peace would essentially, wipe out a lot of people on the world, because that would be peace to the shard's eyes. Am I right in saying that?
I think, well, sort of, but I think it goes.
It'd be a chaotic way of peace, if you know what I mean.
But even deeper than that, it is that we don't really. It is almost unknowable what we desire truly above all else. It is unknown to us, as it would have been unknown to Nex. Perhaps that is why he never looked inside the mirror, because he feared what it was that he didn't know, that what would manifest.
Yeah.
Yes, Ross.
Can I make all the way back in episode 100, when I met with that person who wanted the shard, can I remember what he said to me? Because obviously it was a long time, it was like quite a while ago, so I'm trying to think if he said anything
Fulton
that
thinks
would...
back. You think back to the Seeker as he tortured you and Sick Wolf in that. Then you remember him telling you that it calls to you, as it does to all who have been exposed to it, and that it would destroy you.
And I touched it, didn't I, to use it, and I used its power to transport me back to...
You did, yes. You remember touching it, and you remember in that moment wanting nothing more than to be with your friends. And
I put my hand... Gone.
And a moment later you were.
I just put my hand out and go, so I may have used it to get to you guys. I'm sure it'd be fine.
Do you, really want to touch it now? Have a little think, Fulton.
Fulton thinks.
Think about, let's say you've got the shard in one hand and some really good, freshly ripe pocket meat in the other.
What draws me more, Dan?
Unfortunately, it is impossible to know yourself that truly simply by thinking of it, to know exactly. You can kind of think, I guess I want this, but it's kind of to know your deepest desires is a bit more involved than that.
You see, it is unknowable. Okay. It is, even Nex did not know. But these are not to be taken lightly.
That person was called the Seeker, by the way. I remember it now.
Do they call him the Seeker?
Yeah.
They call him the Seeker, do they?
I think so.
Good.
He's been searching high and low, by the sounds of it, yeah.
Seeker.
All right. Anyway,
good, splendid.
Good. Excuse me, Mr. Alabrian, sir. I know you said that they can't be destroyed, and whoever's searching for it will find you if you've got a piece and that. Which, by the way, I'll bet you 10 gold. They don't. They don't find us. Who in your knowing would have the power to rival Nex in that, or maybe not a person, or maybe an object or a place or whatever, that could forge things that could destroy these quite problematic little slivers of horror here? What do you think could destroy it?
Just before you answer, Karagor, I think we have established that the shards work on their own. Destroying the shard seems like maybe it would not be of any use to us.
The more pieces of the shard, the more pieces of the glass of the divinity you destroy, the less chance there is of putting the entire thing together and remaking reality in a Lich Lord's image.
Look, I think simply because you're not magically inclined, but I really can't overstate how powerful Nex was. He was quite literally one of the most.
Are you wizard splaining?
No, I'm wizard.
You wizard splaining to me? Just listen, the Alabrian's here. Yeah, he's saying all this important stuff.
Karagor, you're not listening. If he couldn't destroy the shard, I don't think tossing it into a volcano or trying.
I never said anything about tossing it into a volcano.
Well, you keep asking about destroying the shard.
Stop interrupting the Alabrian. Let the Alabrian finish.
He did. He said if my master could destroy it, then who could?
What about if we put it in the road and we let a cart roll over it?
Look,
a cart? Did you say a cart?
Yeah, like a cart wheel just rolls over it and smashes it to bits. That's easy. Just do that now.
This is the pure incarnate manifestation of the power of the most powerful wizard ever to walk the plains of this world, and you want to ride a cart over it.
Or we swallow it and let our acid in our bellies digest it, and then two days later we just poop it out. Easy.
I searched for many years. I dedicated my life to trying to find the shards. I gave away my soul and bound myself here eternally in their search. This prick just managed to put his hand on one of them.
Pretty much, yes. He's sort of like that, really.
God.
But the most powerful sorcerer, wizard, and ever known to all Galarian did, however, start off as just a man. And a mortal way of doing these things. There is a mortal way of undoing these things.
I
disagree. Do you know where the rest of them are in the cosmos?
I found the locations of 3. I know 2 of those have passed beyond where I knew them to be.
Through the intestines.
One found its way to hell, and I lost track of it there. I do not know if it has returned to the world. Another remained on this plane, but was gone from my sight. The third that I was trying to reach when I found myself here was in Kibwe, in the Moangi Expanse.
Kibwe.
Well, I guess we better go there and get it to stop it from getting in the hands of anyone bad. Although it seems kind of stupid that we're bringing all of them together for then someone to come and attack us and then steal them from us.
No, I see you thinking logically there, Fulton, but it doesn't matter. Like, we'll not have enough of them in one go to be swooped upon like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, by the time we get 1 or 2 or 3 together, we'll have found a way of storing them safely. And even then, we'll never really have all of them. The Whispering Tyrant's bound to have at least one.
I mean, it's
the one in hell, probably.
It's better with us than with them as well. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean?
And then we'll find a way to destroy it.
Are we sure about that?
But
are we 100% sure about that?
Yeah, 100%, mate.
You know, we astounding optimism again in mortal affairs, but you know, I don't think you have to gather all of the pieces of these shards. I mean, this was a man-sized mirror comprising the almost entire arcane power of Nex. So even a shard of it, even several shards, would be unbelievably powerful. And I know that, you know, it's difficult to understand, but we're talking unbelievably powerful. Even 3, astonishingly powerful.
It's not this difficult to understand, Felder. It's the giving us a job and a gig. If you go, hang on. If the quest has led us to here, to this point, and we go, oh well, it's too powerful, better go home and have a sandwich, then we're all done, aren't we? We've got to keep going and keep finding a way, and otherwise we'll just give up to nihilism.
But you've well, the mortal ways find a way. We'll just put them in a lead box, and that'll be all right. You know, well, anyway, we have to find them now. He's right. We are bound to these things.
Well, so if we don't, if we get them all together, we'll just take anybody on with my axe and my warhammer, and we'll kill anyone who tries to take it from us.
That sounds like a proper Glass of Divinity fanatic there, Fulton, already. Cracking, great. No, I do agree with Elder to a certain point that I don't think we should get them all together. Like, if we could find some way of either putting them in some other part of the universe or destroying them piecemeal as we go along, that would be a far safer way of doing it. But I've got a horrible feeling that we'll have to get them all together in the first place in order to destroy them or something like that. It's probably going to work out like that, isn't it?
I mean, don't forget that. I know this isn't probably, you know, a popular option, but we do need to stop the Whispering Tyrant, because he is going to flood the world with undead and destroy everything.
Yeah.
So there is
the Seeker.
There is a potential, the Seeker, and yes, there's a potential that we might have to try and harness the power, which is extremely dangerous, but
you jumped to that pretty quickly. Caragor had been waiting for this. Caragor had been waiting for Felder to say that. You would jump to that one pretty quickly. We got the whole destroying them and then going straight to using them all of a sudden.
No. I honestly don't believe they're destroyable. There is no way. It's extraordinary. You know, I mean, I know he was a dreadful figure in many ways, but as a magic user, you have to respect Nex. He was extraordinarily powerful.
I'm not doubting that he's powerful, but
if even some of the stories about him are true, so any manifestation of his power that still survives to this day is, terrifying. I won't lie. I'm terrified by the prospect of these shards. It's extraordinary how damaging these can be.
Caragor points at the Alibrian, the man who is bound to hell and covered in runes, and says, that's the end result of that, of seeking them all out and wanting to bind them. There's going to be a different way for us. We're not going to end up like that.
No, I don't think we should bind them, but anyway, we can discuss this later, but I didn't... Yes.
Okay, so we've learned all we can about the shards, so we should just go home now. Well, go to the Mwangi Expanse.
No, we've got to pay the price.
No,
yeah, we did. We killed the Rust Golem, so let's go.
Yeah, we paid the
price. Fulton turns around and starts to leave.
Fulton turns and walks off into the shadows. A moment later, Fulton comes walking out of the shadows.
Oh, that was weird. I go to the left.
Fulton keeps walking off screen and coming back in the other side of the screen.
Fulton, I think it only works if you run.
Okay, I start running.
Okay, no, Fulton just keeps running across the back of it and just reappearing on the other side a few times. He's got great cardio. He can keep doing it for ages.
Oh no, it's not the right turning.
Johnny Landslide kind of just shrugs at it. The hooded figure nods and says,
"You have learned all you need to learn now."
He clenches his fist. The chain tightens around Alibrian's neck and drags him backwards to the cage.
This is a library of secrets. The Olibrians are no longer secrets. Would you take them with you? They are yours if you wish it.
You are asking us if we wish to retain the knowledge that we just learned?
You have the knowledge that is within you is yours, but the Olibrian itself is of no value to us anymore.
Are you asking us to take away the Olibrian, or are you going to throw it in the bin, because that's quite an important distinction?
Hey. It is of no value to the Scrivenbar anymore. If you wish to take it, you may.
Then yes,
I mean,
Caragor's sussing out, I think, what the subtext is here. Yes, we have use of the Olibrian, yes.
At that, he nods. There is a beating of wings, and a creature with the lower body of a pair of serpents hanging down, a pair of bat wings, and an animalistic body with a wolf's head just comes flying down from above, swoops down and just grabs Olibrian and just flies up into the darkness. A moment later, you hear screams from the darkness. The hooded figure turns back to you and says, "As you wish." A moment later, there's a kind of wet plopping noise as something seems to be raining above you, warm and red as it hits your hands. And a moment later, something falls from above and lands on the floor in front of you. It is a flayed skin covered in hieroglyphs. The creature looks up at you and says, "And now we will discuss your payment." And that is where we leave it for tonight.
We gotta take his place. We've got to take his place.
Do you think?
It's a library of secrets. So they want secrets.
Yeah, like, he's a person. They're all like, I reckon.
This week's episode was made possible by our patrons, but especially to our Dangerling of the Week. Candice, can you handle this? Candice, can you handle this? I don't think you can handle this. Whoa! To get your name on the show, go to patreon.com/Danger Club Podcast.